The Hermitage PianoTrio descend from the great Russian musical tradition, exuberant, expressive, sumptuous playing. They are return performers to the Eckhart Grammaté Hall at the University of Winnipeg to close out this season of the Virtuosi Concert Series. I'm joined by two-thirds of the trio, violinist Misha Kalin and pianist Ilya Kazantsev. Good afternoon to you both.
Hey, hello. How are you?
Well, excited to have you here in the studio. Misha, welcome back.
Thank you. It's I can't believe how time flies, but
it really does.
Yeah, it feels like I was being interviewed 2 years ago, like it was yesterday.
yeah. I mean, it's funny too because you were in on your own last time, and now Ilya, you've joined us, and maybe the next time you come in, all three of you will be here.
Well, we would have our cellist, but due to unforeseen circumstances, he was not on the flight that he was supposed to be on. So we're just going to talk bad stuff about him without anybody knowing. No, he's a great cellist, and it's too bad you don't have a chance to talk to him. But
well, we're excited to have you here. It's been 2.5 years since you guys were in last. You opened the 25th anniversary season for Virtuosi. I know it's a very broad question, given that you're all solo performers in your own right. But as an ensemble, what have you guys been up to since?
Well, I'll say a couple of things from us. Hopefully, we've matured a bit. That's always important. I feel this is something that we always strive for. I think in our profession, there's no such thing as a perfect performance. We have signed a recording contract with a major label, Reference Recordings.
Congratulations.
And we actually recorded our first CD, but unfortunately, it's still being edited, and it should be out sometime in late 2018.
Wow, congratulations to you. What was that process like, recording a CD, Ilya? Was this, something new to you guys as an ensemble? What was that process like?
Well, it was our first CD as a trio, but of course we recorded CDs before, like separately.
Yeah.
Misha released, how many millions or thousands did you sell already? And but it was really interesting, and it even bonded us even closer together because it was intense. Couple days we recorded in a beautiful mechanic hall in Worcester, Massachusetts. It was intense, but we were really happy, and we had a really, really great team, so everybody was extremely helpful.
Well, we're so looking forward to hearing this recording, as you mentioned, when it comes out. And as I mentioned, you've recorded on your own, but as a trio, what inspires you to perform together?
I think for us, it's still the fact that PianoTrio has so much vast repertoire, which we're very happy to reintroduce to people. The concert that people will hear tomorrow is unique in its own way, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in a little while. But we're finding Russian composers, we're finding French composers that have been neglected in pieces. So we always try to combine something known and a little bit less known in a program to introduce people to. Number one. Number two, I think being a chamber musician can only help you grow as a soloist, or it's for us, it's a passion, and it's also a great teacher. And I think the level that we work on inspires us to continue, and we realize the higher we climb, the further we have to fall, and we don't want to fall. At least for me. What do you think, Ilya? What inspires you?
What inspires me? Well, one of the important aspects for me is that all three of us, we are really good friends. For example, me and the missing cellist, we've been classmates since the 3rd grade, so we know each other like forever. And what I really enjoy about the trio is that it's not that we're good friends, but our friendship becomes stronger and stronger, and that only helps. And also that we feel music the same way, so we don't even have to discuss things. We just do them without thinking, and we like together. So it's obviously it's important for the chamber music.
Well, of course, and I think one of the other things too is that being great musicians in your own right, you must push each other as well to just better the ensemble, I would imagine.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's a thing, but at the same time, what's interesting is that by now we've played certain pieces like 10, 15 times, and one thing that I love about this group is that we don't come back to the piece 10 times and say, okay, we don't need to rehearse it, we played it before, let's just play it. No, we always kind of make sure we re-rehearse it, re-examine things, like go backwards, because I think when it becomes an automatic pilot, no matter if we're playing together, it's in tune, it's a pretty sounding thing, that's not what we're aiming for. We're aiming to find new things. For example, I'll give you right now, before coming to the studio, Ilya and I, since we were left the two of us, we're rehearsing the Brahms Sonata for tomorrow's concert. We've played it a few times. Today, we found a couple new things. We experimented. We wrote stuff in. Now, maybe after 2-3 more performances of it, we'll say, you know what? Maybe not. You have to always look for something new. And stimulation and intuition is, I think, very important things when you're working with other people.
Well, as an ensemble, you guys are really noted for your versatility. As you mentioned, the breadth of the repertoire, from Haydn to Beethoven to Mendelssohn, and of course the rich Slavic repertoire, which you guys have explored, Rachmaninoff, Shostakovich, Arensky, like you mentioned. When you were last here, I was looking at the program, and it got such rave reviews. It was Beethoven, Arensky, Rachmaninoff, and Brahms. But this program is a little bit different. It is exclusively the music of Johannes Brahms. How did this come together?
I'll say a couple of words, and then... it was actually an idea that we thought about by accident. Here we suddenly have a cello sonata, then a violin sonata, and a piano trio written right in a row. Opus 99, Opus 100, Opus 101. As you listeners know, sometimes music gets printed by the publisher, and later on, and they kind of
gets slotted in or whatever.
Yeah. But Brahms actually wrote these 3 works in consecutive order.
Yeah, wasn't he hanging out in Switzerland?
Yeah, probably inhaling some good, vibes and lake water.
Yeah, he was refreshed.
Of course, and inspired.
Yeah.
Cheese and chocolate.
Probably that too. And what was interesting about it, we want to see that progression and said, why not show to certain, audience, if the presenter likes the idea, that, of course, it's still chamber music, but we can do a couple of duets, but here came the problem. What about the poor pianist? Because Opus 9...
That's exactly my point.
Yes.
I think they just want to, relax, and meanwhile the pianist does all the all
Do you
the
get to
work.
leave? You're going to be
No,
not moving at all.
Hopefully not. Because then it will turn to solo box. So anyhow, we had this idea, and then we looked at some piano stuff that was written around that time, and these beautiful intermezzis, which Ilya is playing. It's also around the same time. It's about within a year or two from these compositions. And it just, I think, will show the public how the progression, how you have 3 pieces written literally within 6 months of each other, and how different each one is, and how passionate Brahms was, in his latter years. So Harry, of course, is a great admirer of interesting programming, which I think is great. And he said, you know what, I want to put this on, and said, why not? So I think the audience will be in for a treat tomorrow.
I think it's safe to say the same thing. Ilya, is this something that you guys have done before? Just perform one composer in a show?
Yeah, we did that. We did it. I don't remember where. Was it in Mexico? Or?
Yes. We also did some old Beethoven programs, but I think this one works the best. I don't know.
Well, so far, absolutely. Well, first of all, it's Brahms.
Yeah.
You can never go wrong.
You cannot.
With Johannes.
Yeah.
And then, Brahms' chamber music is, it's just beyond. And then when you talk about his cello sonatas, like both of them absolutely remarkable. Violin sonatas also, trios also, but when you
And those intermezzi, though, don't forget about those intermezzi.
Well, of course. Well, in general, yeah. Well, I'm a pianist, so that's why I didn't say anything. But so that's why if you put all these 4 opuses together, it's really just, Misha was right. It creates, they're so different, and it's just quite remarkable.
Well, this truly isn't a show to be missed. Misha and Ilya, thank you so much for being here in the Diamond Lane. Appreciate your coming in this Friday afternoon.
Thank you. And
Thank you
to
for
the
having us.
local people, go Jets.
Thanks very much. Yes, go Jets, go.
It's a
Fun
great
things going
story,
on.
so, but I'm sure that they will prevail and go on to even bigger things, and I think you guys deserve it.
I think we're thinking the same thing. You can see the Hermitage Piano Trio performing at Eckhart Grammaté Hall at the University of Winnipeg to close the Virtuosi Concert Series tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. We're going to hear some of their playing to close this interview. Misha, would you mind introducing this work?
Yeah, so since we're going to do Brahms tomorrow, we decided to give you something a little bit more lighthearted. You're going to hear the 3rd movement of Beethoven's famous Gassenhauer Trio, which he wrote kind of as a parody to a song that was very popular during the time. And basically the title was "Thou Shall Not Work Until They Eat," which kind of goes back the reversed way of where Soviet Union was, from where we are all originally from, where you shall not eat until you work. But in any case, it's a fun early Beethoven work, and I hope people enjoy it. It's third movement of the Gassenhauer Trio.